You've got needs, I've got needs, we've all got needs. Yet when it comes to relationship needs, they are not all created equal. Some of them are healthy, reasonable, valid, and some are absolutely not. So today, I really want to talk you through what are the healthy needs? What are the things that we can reasonably expect our partners to care about, that we can reasonably bring into our relationships, and what is going on underneath a lot of the surface level stuff that tends to distract us and might even be falling in that unhealthy or toxic needs category, so that we can get to what's at the beating heart of it. Now, I want to say something straight out of the gate. No relationship is ever going to meet all of our needs. Enough with these fantasies and fairy tales. This is not going to be storybook romance. We're very, very fortunate to be able to find ourselves in connection with others who can meet a good enough, a large enough number of our needs so that, and this one's important, so that we actually have space to grieve for what hasn't been met and let that go. Now, let it go does not mean we don't seek to get those needs met elsewhere through other connections, other things going on in our lives, but we can actually make peace with the fact that my partner is amazing in all these ways. They show up well for me. Here are the things that I love. This is how I feel safe. And they don't do these things so well, or they're not available for that. And so I look to my friends, I look to my community, I look to other people to help me get these needs met. That's just the way that it is in healthy adult relationships. So we can let those fantasies go. Now let's focus on what actually are the healthy needs to bring to one another. First and foremost, we need to feel accepted. We need to feel that we are able to be our authentic self and that our person really sees us, loves us, and welcomes us in as we are. And that is going to include our moments of being fabulously shiny and resourced and amazing, and also the times where we're not. Because again, nobody's perfect, right? So feeling accepted, feeling respected, that our partner really holds us in high regard, that they appreciate who we are and how we move in the world. That can be the contributions we make to our shared relationship. It could be how we operate in realms that have nothing to do with them. And another piece of respect is really considering our boundaries, knowing what we need, what we want, what is outside the limits, what is inside, and that is taken into account throughout our relationship. That's a big one. Another need, feeling desired, affection, connection on the physical level. Most of us want to know that our partner or partners are into us. It does not mean you have to be walking around 24/7 like a libidinous monster, but we want to be flirted with. We want to be appreciated. If you're into gift giving or receiving little tokens of affection, if romance does it for you, the flowers, the candles, so on and so forth, showing affection, sharing contact, whether that's sensual, sexual, or what have you, is really meaningful to satisfy that need to feel desired. And part and parcel with this, but also different, is attention. Time spent together, focused attention placed on us. If our partner is constantly distracted or we're having to squeeze into their schedule, that's not going to feel good. We will need to know that there is space and time and attention available to us. Another really important need is to be able to be reliable and accountable and have your partner be reliable and accountable, which is to say, I can count on you to show up when you say you're going to show up, to take responsibility if you cause harm. And there's something here in differentiating between intention and impact. Very, very often, we do not intend to cause harm, and yet our impact might be otherwise. So accountability looks like being able to take ownership of instances when that happens without being defensive or without turning around and pointing a finger and casting blame. So navigating both the moments when it's simply day in and day out, here's my commitment, and having the integrity to do what we say we're going to do, and also to be accountable when harm gets done, even if inadvertently. And really deep, deep need is to feel like we have safe space in our most treasured relationships. Now, the reality is safety is not something that can ever be guaranteed in life. And that's just facts. Like, we have to make peace with the fact that ultimately, whatever experience of safety we're going to have is at least in large part an inside job. And yet, If we're choosing to be in an intimate, vulnerable, revealing connection with another person, then it is a reasonable need to expect them to be a safe space for us, to be truthful, to share vulnerably, to say, hey, this is going on and I might not be feeling so great about it, particularly if it has something to do with what your partner has caused. So that is a really big one. Another that kind of goes hand in hand with that is to be able to respectfully and maturely navigate differences in opinion, differences in desire, differences in preferences for things that are going on in the day-to-day rhythms of life. We are not often clones to our partners. Opposites do attract. And some of us might have some pretty toxic people pleasing that we're having to unwind from that has us deferring and acquiescing to another person instead of centering what's true for us and then finding middle ground with our partner. So that's really a big one too, a need for responsible and respectful navigation of differences. Mutual vulnerability, that's another one. Can I be soft and open, and can you be soft and open? Can we share the things that are hard, that are tender with one another, and feel trusting and safe enough to do so? These are healthy needs. This is by no means an exhaustive list, but it's my hope that this gives you an example of some of the things that are really reasonable to expect. Even though expectations often we're told that that leads to disappointment, when it comes to adults making a choice to invest in an intimate relationship with one another, there are certain things that we all absolutely do need. So I want to invite you to celebrate neediness in that form. We're not talking about need for control. We're not talking about need for constant validation. We're not talking about need for our partners to be our perfect ideal. Those are toxic needs. Those are unhealthy needs. Those are unreasonable. But I really do want you to be able to celebrate, truly honor and celebrate your needs, your partner's needs, and how you can collaborate together to get as much of that met with one another as possible. I really hope that this is helpful for you. As always, I would love to hear from you in the comments. How does this impact you? How are you taking this information and weaving it into your life? And please make sure you're subscribed so that you won't miss any future videos. I will see you back here soon.